Good blessing, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Daily Energy. I'm your host, Aurea Eden. The day's energy is one for cleaning, organization, preparation. It asks us to get it together, okay? If you cleaned up yesterday, this energy comes right in the nick of time as it asks us to clean up the mess that we made. Okay, so some people may have painted yesterday. Some people may have organized papers or a collage or something of papers and just made a mess of things, right? So today says just clean up what you messed up. And so that's the energy overall today. So energetically in the world, we're going to see transitions. This is transitional energy. It's taking us from, the learning stages, the new beginning, the intro phases into the fast-paced phases, okay? And so this fast-paced energy that's coming up over the next 1 to 3 days, we're going to need to brace ourselves for it. And so this day asked us to prepare. It also asks us to clean our internal and our external. So this is about internal and external environments. It's about self-care today and tomorrow. Self-care. So you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, getting your space organized, getting your internal self, practicing your no. And no is going to be important today because oftentimes we end up like catering to other people before we cater to ourselves. And I'm not going to lie, okay? I've been getting calls, but I have not been answering those phone calls on purpose. So if that's you and you're calling me and I didn't answer that phone call, I'm busy, okay? I'm working on some self-care, but I do love you. I do appreciate you. I will come back to you in a couple of days. But right now, I'm practicing my no. I'm practicing my self-care, as I know oftentimes people will call you when you need something, but when you need something for yourself, you're going to have to take care of yourself. Do you hear me? And so that's what this energy is about. Now, I'll deal with the consequences of not answering some of these phone calls later, but I ain't finna let nobody stress me out, and you shouldn't let nobody stress you out either. Okay? So, yeah. I mean, if they really want to get in touch with me, they'll send me a text message, and that's the way we manage this day. Send me a text message so I can see what you want. Send me a text message because I don't want to talk to you, because if I talk to you right now, you might ask me for something. And I know I'm going to tell you no. So to prevent from having to tell you no, send me a text message so we can see what's going on here, because I'm working. Okay? And so that's the energy. We got to prioritize ourselves. Now, I know some of you like, ooh, she mean. Ooh, she's selfish. No, baby. I have gotten wise. I know that some people will try to take your last drop. I know some people, and they got stuff going on for themselves. Some people, they got whole husbands. Okay? They got fancy cars, nice houses. You see? Sometimes you just got you. And you got to do what you got to do to take care of yourself. Trust me, it took me a long time to get to this mindset. But that's until Father told me that you cannot be selfish or selfless until you be self. So it's so important that you take care of yourself. And that's why I said in this first phase of life, I always encourage people that it's not time to make commitments to anybody else. It's time for you to commit to yourself. And the only reason why I'm committing to y'all right now, I'm going to be honest, is because it's helping me commit to myself, because it's a part of my purpose. Okay? But for some of you, your purpose is not to do this. Your purpose is not to encourage and inspire. Your purpose is to, say, for instance, invent something and write something. And if that's your purpose, oftentimes it's going to require you to focus and concentrate. And that's why we have to prioritize ourselves and practice our no. Realize that it's okay to say no, because you not being able to say no, it makes others think that they can use you. And if they think that they can use you, they think that they basically can manipulate you and control you. And they will try to take your last drop So never allow anybody to deplete you and take your last drop of you. See, oftentimes we share ourselves with others. But in this day, and yet as it was yesterday, it's important for us to share our experiences with each other, share our insight, share our wisdom, but we shouldn't share anything that compromises us. Because if there's no you, baby, what you gonna do? If there's no you, baby, what you gonna do? If there's no you, baby, what you gonna do? You can't do nothing. Because you wouldn't even exist in the realm of the flesh. You'll exist in the realm of the spirit. You see? But by that time, it's too late. Okay? Once you get there, to do what it is that you need to do for yourself. All right? So, I mean, it's too late to a certain extent, all right? So, if the day's energy is not used appropriately, if it's not used correctly, if it's not harnessed and channeled wisely, what ends up happening is that it can cause disorganization. It's the day that the hoarders get stuck in. So if you're a hoarder, this day is going to pose significant here. This day is going to pose important for you to get back on track. Because what ends up happening is, we get discouraged. Life can discourage you. And so you want to reflect to see what it was that discouraged you. Okay? And once you find out what it was that discouraged you, continue on, okay? Excuse me. So, this day also, if not used wisely, it leads to poor decision making, lack of focus, as well as overwhelm, okay? It will, if your space is not right, I guarantee something's not going to be right with you. Okay? If your space is not right. Because our environments, they manipulate us. Okay? Our environments influence us. I am getting choked up because I got this fireplace going. This cold. Excuse me. But our environments, they influence us, okay? And so if our space is not right, that could be the problem. Now, because I'm coughing, and sometimes I get choked up like that when my throat chakra is not doing what it needs to be doing. So today, we also need to work on communication. Work on communication to ourselves. Okay? We might need to communicate with others today, as this day has a lot of that going on. But this is the day that I would say, okay, it's best that we clean, because when we deal with difficult people, we might not want to deal with that today, especially if we can't do it effectively. We'll come back and revisit it another day. Because over the next 9 days or so, it could be rough for relationships. I mean, the day causes things to break. All right? The day is purpose to break. So when I say it's purpose to break, we're purpose to break this cycle, to break bad habits. So we need to break the things that are no good for us. And sometimes that's breaking up. So over the next, 9 days or so, things come to a head, and people who try to hold on to these relationships, at some point they're going to be like, I can't do this no more. I need out, you see? And that realization is likely to happen today. And so now another thing that this day is purposed to do is keep. So we need to keep going. We need to keep a positive mindset. We need to keep working at our goals and keep a to-do list. Okay? So think of things that will require you to break and keep, because that's the energy here today. Break and keep. All right? And so also, this energy it has some business energy to it, because it's about organizing. Okay, so on a business level, there's going to be a coming together. There's going to be business meetings. You will likely have a meeting with someone. It's a good day to have a meeting with someone, as long as this is you getting organized. Okay, because this day is for organized planning and preparing. Okay, so if you're having a meeting with someone, this is not the day to just socialize for the sake of socializing. This day is for meeting for the sake of taking care of business. This day is going to get what you need, going shopping, to get the things that you need for the busy days coming up here over the next 1 to 3 days or so. All right. So you get where I'm going with this? This day is very organized. Okay. It's going to ask us to be responsible and take accountability for where we are now. Sure, they may have affected your then, but don't give them permission to affect your now or your later. Okay. Y'all remember them now and laters? Don't allow them to affect your now or your later. All right. So that means taking accountability for where you are, but taking action where you are. Okay. Taking actionable steps to get to where you want to be in life. You see, we know that we're not where we want to be, but it's no good to complain about it. All we can do is wake up every morning and realize that it's a clean slate. Tomorrow, yesterday is gone, and tomorrow is yet to come. So we're focusing right now on what we can do now. And now we can clean ourselves internally. We can reflect on the past. The past, we can't do nothing about it. So we reflect on it, but we move on from it. We take the experience and we turn that experience into wisdom, and we find a way to apply it now. You see? And we can also share it with others, because it's a day to share insight in the realms of business. So also being committed to our goals. We also want to be committed to our goals, because that's why we can't commit to anybody else, because we need to commit to our goals in a sense. Now, this is not for you married couples. I'm not trying to get you out of marriage. That's not what I meant. Okay? Follow me. All right? Be committed to our goals. Don't take on any new commitments right now. All right? Because you know you need to do what you must do. And if you take on any new commitments, that's your efforts, that's your energy going out. And you need to focus on what you need to do right now. Especially for you, chosen. We have less than 1 year to get it together, because next year is our new beginning, and we want to go into that new beginning like, yeah, I'm ready for you. I've been getting ready for you. You thought I wasn't ready, but here I am. Here I go. I'm the girl, right? Chill. But okay, I'm the man, right? Chill. I gotta say it because I gotta be fair. All right. So so this energy asks us to do that, to not commit and take responsibility. Okay. If you're gonna commit to anything or anyone, make sure it's somebody and something that's equally yoked to what it is that the divine has said to you, that has promised you about where you're going in life. Okay, we might want to hold on to everybody, but we can't. And every person, place, or thing, but we can't. And so today asks for us to purge. It asks us to release and let go. And so that part of purging, a lot of times you think it's not significant, but it is. It's so important, that you purge. If you can't turn it into something useful, you have to let it go, because otherwise it will become pile up and pile up and pile up, and until you feel like you can't move. You see? And then it also affects your breath. You feel like to a certain extent, you can't breathe. You're overwhelmed. And so this would also make you self-conscious. If this energy is not used appropriately, you can become self-conscious. You see, and have some kind of insecurities. Like for instance, I'm in the middle of renovating my house, right? It's a mess. All right. I got a corner over here that got tile up, and yeah. And so what I realized is that at first I didn't want nobody to come into my house. I'm like, this ain't even right. But then I was like, wait a minute. But I'm working on it. You see? I'm working on it. It's different if you wasn't working on something. You see? But when you're working on something, if they can't see you working on something, if they can't see you in the process, that's one of them you gotta buy. See my now. Because you won't see my later. Okay, see my now, because you will not get the opportunity to see my later, because where you are, I will not be come that later. I will go far and I will soar high, because what the divine has told me, that my future is greater. Oh my goodness. I'm not doing this video over so oh, that was gross. Okay. All right. I cracked myself up. All right. See my now, because you won't see my later. Oh, goodness. All right. So anyways, I ain't doing this video over. Okay. So, let's see. So, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. It is purpose to move on and to get it organized and to go get it together, because the energy says get it together. Okay. All right. This energy helps us to balance proactivity, productivity, and self-care. Okay. So productivity and self-care. So today asks for us to balance productivity and self-care. So that's what I'm saying. If this energy is not balanced, then it's uh-oh. Okay. Ooh. All right. So there also, when this energy is not balanced, there's a case of indecision. Okay. Indecision. Get it together. Okay. Indecisiveness. Okay. And so it seems like when there's that indecisiveness, then it's like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. Like, where do I go? What do I do? And so that's why it's so important for us today to get a plan together. Okay? To get a plan together when we're indecisive, because if we have a blueprint in the realms of a plan or a to-do list, then you could say, hey, I did this, I did that, when your mind starts telling you you did the opposite of. Their mind will tell you that you did the opposite of something. And so you have to go back and say, no, that's a lie. I did do this. See, I got this right here. I keep my to-do list. Okay? I like to circle and check, because your mind will play tricks on you. Them demons will play tricks on you, okay? They like to play with your mind, okay? And so they like to tell you all kinds of things about yourself. But when you have that blueprint, you can say, nope, I did this. Yep, I did that. You see? And so you nip that in the bud right there. All right? So for those other people who don't use this energy, they also may feel a sense of regret. And that regret, that's what leads to the like the greed mentality, in a sense, like the hoarding mentality. Often, we have some regret, and then we get into the woe is me state of mind. All right, the woe is me. But just don't go too far down in that ditch of self-pity, because it's not a fun place to be. All right. So, because it's easy to get in there, but it's harder to get out. All right. It's easy to get in there, but it's harder to get out. So, we must never, ever, 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 ever use our intuition to harm. Okay. We must never use our gifts to harm the chosen. All right. But them wicked demons, they have it coming. They shouldn't be in temples they ain't supposed to be. They know they're going to get casted out. Okay. So you can cast them out. All right. So, but no, don't harm anybody, when it comes down using your gifts for harm. Sometimes people do that. And I'm like, don't you know that you can lose your gift that way? You really can. You will lose your gift if you use it in a way that causes harm, and you're doing it purposefully to someone else. So I'm also seeing, the need for us to treat people the way that we would like to be treated. Okay, if you treat people the way you would like to be treated, it's all good, but not to your own compromise. Okay, we talked about that earlier. Okay, so to make the most of the day, we're being asked to visualize and set clear goals, to prioritize our to-do list. So if you don't have a to-do list and you don't have your short-term and long-term goals defined, this is a day to do that, to define your long-term and short-term goals. Okay. This is also a day to reflect and release bad habits. To clear, organize, purge, and donate. To practice discipline. To make informed decisions. So this is about thinking about what you're going to do before you do it. Okay. Prioritize your self needs. Exercise to remain committed. Exercise and remain committed. So when it's talking about exercising, it's talking about literally going outside and working out, because that's, some of us, our organization is not just internal is external. We can work out today, and it's cold outside. So if your gym is outside like mine, it ain't happening. But anyways, but working out, cleaning up, some people clean up, and when you clean, going up and downstairs, that's working out, too. But, exercise, we can also exercise our breath. You notice, I keep having issues with my throat. This is indicating to me that we have Mercury retrograde coming up pretty soon. Because I often start having issues with my throat when Mercury retrograde is approaching. I don't believe it's in this month. I believe it's coming up next month, but I'm not certain. But it just feels like it. Okay. Sometimes I don't even look at the charts. I just know. Okay. I can just feel it. I'm like, wait a minute. Is it Mercury retrograde? It must be Mercury. Mercury must be in retrograde. So anyways, the next thing that we want to do is prepare for the busy days ahead. And so this is what I was talking about. Go to the store, get what you need, because it's going to get busy over the next 1 to 3 days. Reinforce a positive mindset. This could be you listen to inspirational videos, listening to a reading, listening to an audio book while you're cleaning, or listening to positive music while you're cleaning. So these are different ways that you can reinforce a positive mindset and celebrate your accomplishments. See? All right? Celebrate your accomplishments. Reward yourself for every single check mark you're able to check off. Okay? Start you a little jar. Okay? And say, all right, if I check this off, okay, I'm going to put $5 for each check mark. I do that for my nephew, for my great nephew. I do that for him when he gets like, it's kind of bribery, I ain't gonna lie, but when he gets like an A, I give him $10. On his progress report, I give him $10. If he gets a B, then I give him $5. If he gets a C, then I give him $1. So at first he came to me and he had like one A, he had 2 B's and 1 C. I said, okay, but you get $11. The next time he came back, this boy had 2 A's and 2 B's. He said, Nana, where my money? He still calling me today. He like, Nana, I got this today. He not only did he bring me one progress report, the next week he brought me another. I said, oh Lord. So, but he takes his little money and he puts it on his, I bought him a Nintendo Switch. So he takes his money and he puts it on a Nintendo Switch, but it works. Hey, he's progressing. All right. And so just how it was for him that I rewarded him, reward yourself. Okay. Reward yourself. I reward myself too. All right. But see, the thing is, what I reward myself with, I'm gonna have to read it. Okay. Cause I might reward cause y'all know I don't eat anything that is meat related other than fish. Okay. So I eat fish, but I don't eat chicken or beef or pork or any of that anymore. And I feel good about that. Like I really do. Because I noticed that my stomach area, I never really had a big stomach, okay? I've always had like pretty much a flat stomach. That's not my problem. It's the top and my bottom. But I've always pretty much had a flat stomach area. But to make a long story short, but sometimes, with, what they have to diagnose me with, they diagnosed me at some point with PCOS, it comes with bloating. But I have noticed that since I've been just eating fish and vegetables, I haven't been getting those bloats. And so I've been seeing the difference. I'm even starting to see some little muscles coming back. And I was like, wait a minute. Watch out now. But look, now, I cut back on my ice cream. But see, I was rewarding myself with ice cream. You know how sometimes we reward ourselves with bad things that we know ain't good for us? Like sometimes we'll reward ourselves by going back into that relationship just only for one night with somebody we know we weren't good for us. That keeps it real, honey. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Okay? So that ice cream, I'm gonna have to do what I said. That was that idea that just came up, like, hey, put some money back for every check mark. And then tomorrow is self-care. And the money that I acquired today and over the rest of the week or whatever, I can take that tomorrow, and then I can say, oh, I can go get me another wig, child. I can go get me some hair for my braids. I can go get my nails done. That's how much. Look, but don't be cheap. Don't cheapskate yourself and say, okay, so I'm gonna do less today so I can spend less tomorrow. Invest in yourself, okay? All right. So, but make sure it makes sense. I live on a farm, so it don't really make sense for me to have big, long nails that I can't even wipe my butt with. It don't make sense for me right now. So I'm not even going there. Okay. But, self-care is much needed. All right. You can rest, relax, but that's tomorrow's energy. Today, celebrate your accomplishments. However you want to do it. Check in with your accountability partner, and share ideas with each other, okay, with one another. So to embrace a proactive mindset, let's develop a routine. Let's harness determination, clear our environments, and nurture our relationships, as well as cultivating positive habits. Okay, listen, let's get those negative thoughts out of our head. Let's change the thoughts to thinking. Okay, let's change our thoughts to thinking, and let's measure our progress by counting the check marks. All right, and putting some dollars in there. I'm gonna get me a jar. I got one somewhere, and that's what I'm gonna do. You know, I told y'all I have this what is it, 100 envelope challenge thing. And so if you have one of those, you can take your money out of that and put it in your jar. Because when I put money in there, I be telling people, hey, this is my money. Because I told you, I used to just give. And I had to get to the point where I was like, look, what goes into this book is for me. So when I get down to my last, I'm never down to my last. If it goes in this book, this is my money. Ain't nobody getting it. This is self-care. That means I need to be able to feed myself. Feed me, Seymour, feed me. I need to be able to feed myself. I need to be able to invest in myself, clothe myself, get myself together, fix myself up, make sure my house is clean. I should never be taking care of nobody else's household until I take care of mine. You should never be taking care of anybody else's household if you're not taking care of yours. Telling you, this is a lesson you're going to have to learn if you're not learning that lesson. Okay? It's like woosah. Okay? It feels good. It feels good. Yeah. It feels good. I don't think that's what he's saying. All right. So anyways, so as far as the predictions today, so, you know, there's going to be a new businesses being introduced, going publicly traded. You know, they're going public. A lot of these businesses will be going public. A lot of structuring, organizing, retweaking. So there's going to be reworking of like systems and processes. And I heard that there's going to be so many people losing their jobs. So this organization energy is like, hey, and not only does it tell you to pay your bills, but it also tells you that if you need a job, go ahead and put in the applications today. Okay, get organized, start going after what it is that you want. Be proactive in life. That's what this energy is encouraging us to do today. All right, to work in our best interest here. Okay, so it also is going to we're going to also see stuff coming in about babies. Okay, I'm getting a lot of baby energy here. All right, babies, liars. Over the next 1 to 3 days, we're going to see the typical that we normally see, transitions in the spirit, the typical that we normally see, people acting like animals in the next 1 to 3 days. Today, tomorrow, and the next day are the days that I say be in the house at a decent hour, because this is an increase in violence around this time, as there's more things like increase in activity, and people start acting out. There might be something that comes up about vaccinations, or something again in the news over the next 1 to 3 days or so. I'm also seeing a lot happening when it comes down to people doing things, being manic, doing things at the spur of the moment. Okay, even though, that's not something that I would encourage you to do today. Okay. But you're going to see more people doing it, people just acting without thinking. So whatever I said positive for you today about you harnessing this energy today, they're going to be harnessing this energy in another way tomorrow. Okay. And even today. All right. So that's what I'm seeing. All right. So what I said yesterday still stands. I am seeing that there is the potential for I don't know, it might be an asteroid, it might be a meteor. Those could be the same thing. It could be a star. It all could be the same. But I did see that there is something coming, and there's a need to stop it before it gets here, because if it gets here, it's going to take out whole cities. And so I heard yesterday, now I didn't read this for myself, I was told this. Someone told me yesterday that they increased the likelihood of this asteroid or meteor or whatever hitting Earth from 1% to 3%. So I mean, my thoughts are valuable or verified here, because I'm like, I feel something coming. All right. And so tomorrow go to speed limit, but later on tonight, if you're out and about, make sure you go to speed limit and stuff, take care of yourself. But really this day is like full of sorrow. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. This day is full of sorrow. So this day could take out a lot of people in the masses. All right. A lot of people in the masses. All right. So spiritual energy coming in. I'm seeing crying. So like I said, a lot of baby energy. All right. So abandonment is also something that could happen. All right. I'm seeing cooking out, something about like frying something. All right. So I mean, I didn't really prepare this that well, but this is what I'm seeing in the energy. Okay. So Soviet, something about maybe about we talked about Soviet Union before, that has something to do, space exploration, stuff that's going on up in space. Okay, over the next 1 to 3 days, we might hear something about travel into space or something. Maybe we hear news about them, more news about them doing something with the asteroid or something. Increased in drinking and driving. I am getting something about cars and buses. So we might hear something about transportation. All right. Far travel, because I'm getting something about far. Okay. Also, spiritual and religious energy is coming up over the next 1 to 3 days. And bargaining. If you do this, then I will do that. Okay. I love y'all. Good bless one. Take care of yourself. Hearts go out. You get a heart. You get a heart. You get a heart. Hearts go out.